Mrs. Ibidu Gloss. Okay? Mrs. Ibidu Gloss is the managing director of what? Stardom Schools. Okay? Now, are you not surprised? In school, do you usually have managing director? No. But why do we have managing director in this school? Because no, just speak up now. Normally, the owner of the school is called proprietor. But in a case whereby the school is owned more than one person, you understand? When it's one person that owns the school, that's proprietor. That's why if you see any school they call group of schools, it means it's more than one person that owns the school. So in that case, that's why you can have a managing director. In the case whereby the school is being owned or managed by, it's managed by more than one person. So in this case, Stadium Schools is being owned by more than one person. So the person that held the position of managing director is Mrs. Ibinu Gloss, okay? Then next after is Mr. Jeremy Amos, okay? Mr. Jeremy Amos is what? Is the accountant at Stadium Schools, okay? This is the next one. Alright, then we have Mrs. Grace Apple. This name sounds somehow. The name sounds Nigerian. What do you think? Okay, so Mrs. Grace Apple is the vice principal of Taro Schools. Remember, Beppo, our protagonist is the word principal. Now, the thing about all these military books is they know the things you will do. So the questions they will ask you are those things that you will value. They cannot ask this one. That is where they will go. Because they know that, okay, practically everyone has read the book, and there's some information that you will know. So when I get some questions that I believe I can ask, because me, I don't know, I'm speaking to you, you need to bring the solution. So I know the questions that I have to ask. So when I tell you, take your, hey, I'm a pastor. Don't worry, I see vision what are your pastor said. You know me. Alright, so when I come across questions I believe they can ask you, I'll let you know. So the next one is Mr. Audu. Okay, Mr. Audu is just a random teacher at Salem Schools. Then we have Mr. Ibe. Mr. Ibe happens to be the game master and the referee of the farewell novelty match. Now that farewell match is in honor of who? Mr. Beppo. Please always listen to things. Let's take note. Then we have Mrs. Ignatius. Wow. Okay? Mrs. Ignatius, wife of Mr. Ignatius and mother of Favour. Alright? Then we also have Mr. Ibe Ignatius, husband to Mrs. Ignatius, and the father of Favour. Then we have Mr. Ayesoro. The one talking. Okay, Ayesoro. Did you put any? I think Mr. Ayesoro. Ayesoro means what? Life is hard. Okay? It's not hard. Life is not hard. It's very simple. There's only three. Alright? So Mr. Ayesoro is the government teacher at Salem Schools. Then we have Mrs. Mary Ladele. Okay, Mrs. Mary Ladele is the parent of students at Salem University. It's the next slide. Alright, then we have Mr. Fapori. Okay, Mr. Fapori is the English teacher. We have Mr. Ogo, and that parents. Then we have Tai. Tai. Tai is the passport agent. Then we have Chief David Aje. Is that Aje or Aje? Is Aje right? I think it's Aje. You know, it's very funny. One word can mean so many things. For example, we have Ogu. 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 Owa. Owo. Ogu. Ogu. That's the funny thing about Yoruba. Then we have Mr. Buta. Mr. Buta is also a parent of two students at Salem University. Then we have Touch, students at Salem University. We have what? Is it Tush? Is that Tush? What are you saying now? University. Okay, I thought university. Sorry, don't mind me. Then we have Jide. Jide is the grandchild of Beppo's landlord. Then the next slide. Okay. Then we have Kenny. Kevin is also the grandchild of Beko's landlord. Then we have the white airline official whose name was not mentioned. He's the airline staff at the airport. Then we have the security personnel, name not mentioned too. Then we have director at Beachway Group of Schools. Now this Beachway Group of Schools, where is it? In Lekki, no. What significance does it have in the novel? That was where Mr. Beppo was working before he moved to. So in case you ask, why did he leave this way group of schools? Because of ritual, right? Yes, it was said in the book that while he was staying at the staff quarters, he caught the director of the school with some other people performing ritual. And he couldn't take it, he had to leave the school. Okay? Then the next one we have people think that thing is fictional. Do you know it happens? Go to all of these schools, they have something buried in the school, and then before you know, they'll be having students. Okay? Then we have Mr. A.D. Nepo. Mr. A.D. Nepo is also the director of this group of schools. That's the person Mr. Nepo calls. Alright? The next slide, please. Then we also have the immigration officer in Ibadan. What did Bebo go and do in Ibadan? Yes, it's passport renewal. And he went to Ibadan because of the pandemic. So which means this book was written probably towards that COVID-19 period. So it was after the pandemic, I know there will be a rush at the Lagos immigration center together. So it was like he was going to travel to a place whereby they will have less crowd. So that's why I went to Ibadan. They also had the NIN officer, name not mentioned. What would be of NIN? National Identity Number. Okay? Then we also have the white man in Bebo's dream, name not mentioned too. Then we have Mr. Alabi, the author of Lekki Headmaster. So those are the characters. Alright? So those are the characters in the book. Now, before we start the summary, there's something in literature called narrative technique. What do I call it? Yes, literature students are already aware of this. Okay, and you might be asked, alright? So we have like 3 types of narrative technique, but there are 2 that are commonly used. And the first one is first person narrative technique. What do I call it? First person narrative technique. Say first person. Yes, first person narrative technique. First person is also known as participatory narrator. What do I call it? Participatory narrator. And the other one is called the third person. What do I call it? Third person. It's called third person or omniscient narrator. Third person or omniscient narrator. Now, in first person narrative technique, the person that is narrating the book is also a character in the book itself. That is the narrator, the person narrating the event is also a character. And you can identify this by you have the use of the pronoun I. Then I and Mr. Beppo went to, then I saw that I signified that word is also a character. Okay? But when you talk about the third person of omniscient means all knowing. You know that they are omniscient God. So in the third person, the narrator is outside. The narrator is not a character. Okay? And this one is being known. The sign that you know that they are using third person is the narrator is able to tell you the mind of the character, is able to tell you their thoughts, what they are thinking about. If you are not omniscient, how will you be able to know the thoughts of the person? Okay? And this one can be identified in which the narrator is mentioning him. Then Beppo went to the house of let's see, the radio and stuff like that. So my first question is, this Lekki Headmaster now, did he make use of first person or third person? Third person. So we are telling you that the narrator is not a character there. Alright, so established. So if you are asked, the Lekki Headmaster uses the third person or omniscient narrator. Okay? So that's about that. Then, before we now go into the summary, I said I want to quickly run you through those common figures of speech that they ask. Because there's no how you have questions that is being asked of figures of speech. Now, the very first and the most simple figure of speech is what? Simile. What do I call it? What do I call it? Simile. So you can just write some things down, give you short terms simile has to do with comparison, the comparison between two things of different nature. By different nature, I mean probably you're comparing human being and animal, human being and non-living thing, animal and non-living thing. But the thing is, the two things you are comparing, they must have something in common. Okay, what's that? Okay, is as dirty as a pea. You know that attribute of a pea. Now we're not comparing two things of different nature, human being and pea. Is as dark as charcoal, and it's easy to identify simile because it makes use of as and life. It makes use of as and life. So simile is easy to identify because you see the comparison being used with as. Okay, it is as gentle as a dove, right? So he is as gentle as a dove. What are the two things we compare here? He and dove. They have the same attribute of gentle. And we quickly know that this is similar because of the as. It behaves like an animal. Next one is metaphor. What do I call it? Metaphor. Now, metaphor and simile are very alike. The only difference is simile uses like or as, metaphor compares directly. Okay? So metaphor is the direct comparison. The direct comparison between two things of different nature. Between two things of different nature. Now, under simile, we have is as gentle as a dove. Can you turn that statement to metaphor for me? What we have? Is a dove. So can you see the short difference between simile and metaphor? Under simile, if I have it behaves like an animal, metaphor would be is an animal. Do you get it? Or in this case, if I have is as dirty as a pig, metaphor will now be is a pig. So simile compares using as and like, metaphor compares directly. Are we there? Do we get that part? Alright. Then the third one is now personification. What do I call it? Personification. Yes. Alright. Personification has to do with giving human attributes to inanimate objects. Personification has to do with what? Giving human attributes to inanimate objects. By inanimate objects, we mean objects that don't have life. Now you know the things human beings, you know the things they do. Human beings dance. Angry. That's personification. When you give human attributes, that is something done by human beings, you give it to objects that don't have life, you have personified that object. And that is what? Personification. Or look at this. The trees are waving in joy. Waving is human attribute. This is what it means to wave. Now I'm saying the trees are waving. Probably there's wind and the trees is doing like this. So I'm not personifying the tree by saying the tree is waving. Do we get that? Alright. The next one is hyperbole. What do I call it? Yes, hyperbole. Now hyperbole is no matter how hungry you are, can you finish ever as big as the mountain? Who said yes? Gluten. confirm. No matter how big, you know how big a mountain is. Let's now bring about like that, about. Or you can say like this: the whole world was at the party. Even you said A, can the whole Ekiti be in a particular party? Government of the whole Nigeria. Now you're not saying the whole world was at the party. Okay? Another one is I waited for 1,000 years. How many years do one people live? IS 90, 100, you are dead. You are not saying that when you waited for 100 years. That's hyperbole. Hyperbole was exaggerate. Do you get it? Alright? Then the next one is irony. What do I call it? Irony. Yoruba will say irony. And funny thing, irony is actually a lie. Because irony is saying the opposite of what you mean. What do I call irony? Say yes. I mean what I mean. So, saying the opposite of what you mean. For example, look at this. Bimpe scored 0 in the test. What a brilliant girl. That was a brilliant girl, better than irony. You want to say, oh, don't do you understand? So that's an irony. Or, the boy broke the glass. What a careful boy. You understand? That's an irony. Or, he's so rich, he cannot afford to buy shoes. How can you be so rich, you have money, and you cannot buy shoes? So that's what irony do. Irony says the opposite of what you really mean. Alright? In fact, these are the 4 main figures which you need to know. So the other ones I will ask, they are just the ones. But most times, the question they will ask you, knowing that you are not students, will not be more than these 4. Okay? So let me do a quick recap before we go. Okay, let me ask 2 more. 2 more figures which I know they can ask. Another one they can ask is euphemism. What do I call it? Euphemism. Euphemism. Now, euphemism is okay. Euphemism is saying something. So, euphemism is saying something unpleasant, saying something unpleasant in a pleasant or mild way. Now, something has happened, and what has happened is a bad thing. Okay? So you don't want to say it the way it happens. You want to say it in a way whereby it will not sound offensive. Now look at this statement now. The girl has been put in the family way. Who can tell me the meaning of that statement? She has been impregnated. Well, imagine, is that a good thing? For one of you now to be put in the family way, is it good? Is that the next thing? Okay, you have been put in the family way. If you are here, you've been put in the family way, let me say answer. No need to go and write down again now, just go and buy the name. You'll be put in the family way. So, look at the way it sounds. Remember I said she has been impregnated. Does that not sound harsh? So I don't want it to sound harsh. That's why I'm now whitewashing it by saying what? She has been put in the family way. So which means she has been impregnated. Now if I said the man died last night, dying, you know it's unpleasant. So how can I say that in a pleasant way? Instead of saying the man died last night, what can I say? The man kicked the bucket, okay? The man kicked the bucket. Now, kick the bucket just sound as if, yeah? But you're saying the man has died. That's what the feminism does. It says something unpleasant in a pleasant way. So the man kicked the bucket means the man died. Or if I say, that lady is every man's wife. What does that mean? Prostitute. Hello, Shell. Hello, Shell. No, pick it up for her. Hello, Shell. See that what? Hello, Shell. So by saying every man's wife, but funny thing, if you tell someone that, you're every man's wife, she might be feeling herself that, so every man wants me. Not knowing that, well, you're calling her, hello, Shell. Alright? So that's the feminism. Or if you say, he's a gentleman on the highway. Armed robber. But the moment someone says gentle, they think you're complimenting them, but rather you're calling third person an armed robber. Gentleman on the highway. That's what armed robber. So that's what the feminism does. Something that sounds unpleasant, He says it in a pleasant or mild way. Are we there? All right. Then the next figure of speech is apostrophe. What do I call it? Apostrophe. Okay. Now, apostrophe and personification, they are similar, but there's a difference. Apostrophe is addressing a non-living thing as though it has life. Now, apostrophe does have to do with something that does not have life, something that is not human being. I'm now talking to it as if it's human being can reply me. This chair, no, this table, why are you so ugly? Can the table hear what I say? Can it reply me? Who said yes? That is not nice table. Table and one year instead. Alright, or if I say, oh Jam, why are you wicked? Is Jam a person? No. Okay, so I'm not talking to Jam as if Jam is a person. And this one is easy to identify because most times it uses the word oh Jam. Is not living, but you are talking to it as if it's living or can imply you. Okay, so side by side, two opposite statements. Sorry, two opposite words. For example, it was a peaceful walk. Imagine, how can walk be peaceful? Can you see what is going here? Peaceful walk. Okay. Alright, what's the opposite of peace? Eh? War. Peaceful war. We are now placing it side by side. That's what oxymoron does. He is a wise fool. So what's the opposite of being wise? Being foolish. But we're not placing it side by side. He is a wise fool. Or look at this. She cried joyful tears. She cried joyful tears. Do you cry when you're happy? You cry when you're happy. Oh, that one is strong. Though. You cry when you're happy. All right. Although it's not the opposite, okay? When you are in tears, it means you are not happy. So joyful tears, wise fool, or he is an honest thief. Can a thief be honest? Uh, how now? How about honest thief? Although while growing up, there was this particular book I read, The Honest Thief. Do you know why they call the man an honest thief? He used to steal from this warehouse. The man had like, let's say he had like 50 bags of rice. But you know what this thief does? When he breaks in, out of like 50 bags of rice, he will just take like maybe 4 dirika. The one that will be enough for him and his mother. So the owner of the shop was now wondering that, what kind of thief is this one? You broke into the place. So the person is expecting that you take like 7, 8 bags. But the person just noticed that the thing that is missing here is just little. So the owner now stood somewhere a particular day to catch the thief. So when he called the thief, said, you know how the thief that, well, you've had opportunity to steal all of these things. Why have you not stolen? He said, the thing is, I don't want to be a thief, but it's because I don't have anything to eat. So anytime I come to steal, I just take what's enough for us to eat for that day. Does that make him honest? No, a thief is a thief, all right? So they just how to use that. So honestly, that is oxymoron. Then the last, because we don't have much time, then the last one they can ask you is also paradox. What do I call it? Paradox, all right? Paradox is a statement that sounds foolish, a statement that sounds ridiculous, statement that sounds ridiculous or absurd until you take a second look at it. Until you take a second look at it. For example, we have The child is the father of the man. How does that sound? Does that not sound foolish? Does it not sound ridiculous? Child being the father of the old man. How does that sound? It sounds ridiculous, right? For us to take a deeper look at it, what do you think this means? Eh? Now, who is taking care of you now? Who is taking care of you? Your boyfriend, what did you say? Who is taking care of you now? Your parents. By the time you come, your parents will grow old. Now, that time they are old, who will now start taking care of them? You. So at the end of the day, is the child not the father of the man? You are taking care of them now. But give them 50 years, 60 years, they won't be able to move anywhere. You are the one that will be taking them up and down. So at that stage, I do not become their father. So at the end of the day, the child is the father of the man. But looking at this statement, it sounds stupid until you take a second look at it. Another example, cowards die many times before their death. Cowards die many times before their death. Look at this statement. Does it not sound stupid? How many times will one die? Once. But look at it. Say, well, cowards die many times before their death. So who is a coward? Well, let's take a deeper look at it now to see the deeper meaning. Who is a coward? You can't tell me mind of the word before now. Who is a coward? Eh? Oh, damn. This is the one. Who is a coward? You never heard of the word coward before. Huh? Fearsome. Yes. Someone that is always scared to take risks. Okay? And if you tell people like that, they will lose so many things. Because there are sometimes when you take risks, it works for you. For cowards, you don't want to take risks. So that's why the statement is now saying such person will lose. They will die many times before they are dead. But if not that we took a deeper meaning to it, looking at it from the surface, does it sound meaningful? No. That's what paradox is. So you cannot be asked more than this figures of speech. Let's do a quick recap so you have it. So science students, you now have that bit knowledge of literature. Remember I said what? In simile. What does simile do? Compare two things using what? As or like. Good. Then metaphor. Direct comparison without as or like. Then personification. Giving human attributes to inanimate objects. Then hyperbole, exaggeration, right? Then irony, saying opposite of what you mean. Then apostrophe, talking to a non-living thing as though it has life. Then euphemism, saying something unpleasant in a pleasant way. Then oxymoron, placing side by side two opposite words. And the final one, paradox, a statement that sounds ridiculous or absurd, or to take a second look at it. Please, do you understand it? If you have any question on it, ask me now before we go into the summary. This, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you have any figure of speech here that you don't still understand, can you raise your hand or you need clarification? Anybody? All right. Can I have a question? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's a very good question. She asked me if apostrophe always has the expression "oh." Yes. Most times that expression is there. Oh, but there are situations whereby they will use it, but most times, 90% of the time, it uses "oh." Oh, death, why is thy stay? Oh, damn, why are thou wicked? Like that "oh" is just for emphasis. It's not as if it's a must, but most times it uses it. But the moment you just sense that this thing they are talking to does not have life now, it's apostrophe. All right? Does that answer your question? Good. Any other question? Please state it. Just the money, you are entitled to it. If you still don't understand what's on the board. Because now I'm asking my own question. Is there anyone that is still not clear to you? Do we all understand it? Are you sure? Okay, let me give you okay, let me ask my own question now. The boy is light fingered. Who can tell me what figure of speech is here? The boy is light fingered. Who can try? The boy is light-fingered. It's one of these figures on the board. Paradox. Is that correct? Euphemism. Are you sure? What's the meaning? I know. by saying it's light finger, what does that mean? Stative, a pilferer. Alright? So you are saying something unpleasant. You know, when I said light finger now, you might be thinking I'm saying his skin is light. But no, I'm simply calling him a thief. So it's euphemism. Are you with me? Alright? Let me ask you another one. 10,000 oceans. I've not even finished. It's hyperbole. I wanted to write 10,000 oceans cannot wipe away my guilt. Do we even have up to 10 oceans in the world? And I'm talking about 10,000. That is what? Hyperbole. Okay, look at this now. The land is a giant wave. Yes, what figure speech is this? The land is a giant wave. Huh? No. Hyperbole. Okay. No, it's not hyperbole. Huh? Metaphor. Personification. Which one is correct between metaphor and personification? Let's study very well. The land is a giant whale. Now, is there any human attribute here? No. So it can't be personification. There's no human attribute here. But what we have here is comparing two things of different nature. Land and whale. About non-living thing and animal. So the answer is metaphor. Let's assume is the land is like a giant whale. That would be simile. Do you all get it? No? Who said no? If you are still confused, let me just say answer. Don't be shy now. Who said no from this angle? All right, you have a question. Which one? This one. Okay, look at the statement now. The land is a giant whale. Land. You understand? Whale. That's big fish. What's their correlation? Do they have anything in common? No. So, and that's what metaphor does. Comparing two things that are of different nature. You get it? All right. Then let me give you one more example before we go to our summary. The son smiled at the children. What's that word? Personification. Human attribute is what? Smile. Giving it to inanimate objects. Do you get it? All right. So we'll now apply it when we are doing the questions. All right. So quickly, let's start with the summary. Like I told you, we have 12 chapters. So we're starting with chapter 1. First slide. All right. So chapter 1. The story begins with an unusual scene at the school assembly. The principal, Mr. Beppo Adewale, walks to the podium. Do you know a podium? Yes. For example, this is the podium. All right. Looking distressed and unorganized. Unlike his usual charismatic self. You know what it means to be charismatic? Yes, I is always lively and right? He is visibly off and his trademark sign is absent. All right. Instead of addressing the students, he stares blankly ahead and begins to cry. Imagine a adult that is crying. His attempt to speak what? Say, and he becomes so overwhelmed with emotions that he hides his face with his eyes. Imagine an adult. What do you think is making the principal cry here? Is that because it's different? Yes, he's feeling sad because he's about to travel. I doesn't want to leave the school. Next slide, sir. All right. So the vice principal, Mrs. Grace Apple, is the first to approach him, asking what is wrong. But the principal does not want respond. Okay. Teachers and staff try to comfort him, but he remains inconsolable. The situation raises concern among the staff, and some parents quickly hear about the incident, causing further anxiety. You understand? Teachers were talking to him. The vice principal spoke to him. He didn't answer. Teachers spoke to him. No one answered. And the thing was now getting somehow. In fact, parents now began to hear of it. So Mrs. Appen, Miss Appen who? The vice principal, calls the managing director by Missy Bidun Plus to come to the school. Okay? The MD, after arriving, tries to understand the cause of Mr. Beppo's distress, but he only mutters that he will be all right without explaining. Okay? Then, all right? All right. So despite attempts by his colleagues to support him, the principal remains overwhelmed by his emotions, causing even more speculation among staff and parents. Okay. So chapter one reveals that the school has recently lowered its body fees. Now we are not getting to that point. These are the points whereby these are the points whereby you get the question you can be asked. Okay. Now they might ask you, what led to increase in students' enrollments in the school? Because of the reduction in the body fees. Turn that down. My mind tells me that question will be asked. And you know, they will generate so many questions, and there's no how you see 7 to 8 questions on it. So turn that down. My mind tells me that question will be asked. Why was there increase in students' enrollments? Answer, because it had lowered its body fees. All right. So take me. That's the first question I'll ask you to take me. I'll give you like 30 to 40 questions that I know that, and you will come back with testimony that are you a soothsayer? Am I a prophet? Those are the questions you see live and direct. All right. That will be your testimony. All right. So which led to an increase in school enrollment, and the principal's absence from the assembly is a stark contrast to his usual energetic presence. Now, the chapter ends with a scene of history surrounding Mr. Bexell's emotional breakdown. So throughout chapter 1, no one is being asked as in, we are not being told because of his breakdown. So the things you need to remember in chapter 1 is 1, the enrollment of students increased because of the reduction in the body fees. And 2, the name of the principal is Mr. Beppo Adewale. Then 3, the name of the school is Tado School. The name of the MD is Mrs. Ibido Bloss. The name of the vice principal is, all right. So those are the highlights from chapter 1. So we move to chapter 2. After several days of attempt to understand the source of Mr. Beppo's distress, funny thing, do you know that the number of days was mentioned? The number of days is spent without revealing how many days? 5 days. So put it down. So Mr. Beppo was distressed for 5 days. Those little things. Guys, even if the person who did the summary here overlooked it, those are the things they would ask you. So he spent 5 days being distressed. All right. So as well as that 5 days, we now reveal that what? He's planning to leave Nigeria for the United Kingdom. Now the UK. Is UK a country? Who said yes? UK is a country. How many countries make up UK? 4. I said 9. Someone said 50. How many countries make up UK? 4. United Kingdom is made up of Wales, England, Ireland, and Scotland. So, because the United Kingdom is made up of these 4 countries. So the United Kingdom is not a country. United Kingdom is made up of these 4 countries. Are we getting it? All right. So that's why I want to travel to. We don't need a particular place in UK. So the pressure from his family, especially his wife, had become too much to ignore. His marriage was failed, and his wife had already relocated to the UK with their children. So his wife and children were already in the UK. Okay? Despite his love for the school and students, people felt that he had no choice but to join his family. He had already secured a teaching job in the UK, which promised a better future for his family. Okay? So another thing can be asked there is, where is he planning to go? The UK, and what work did he secure in the UK? A teaching work. Who can tell me the profession of his wife? Nurse. She's a registered nurse. Who said nurse? Next slide. All right. So the chapter delves into Mr. Beppo's past at Stardom Schools, where he had worked for over 2 decades. 2 decades is how many years? 24. Okay. 20 years. 10 years make 1 decade. Well, I don't understand. Was number of years specifically mentioned? How many years were mentioned? 24 years. That's over 2 decades. So please put that down. It can be asked. So Mr. Beppo had worked in the school for 24 years. Another question they can ask, that's question 2. So he had worked in the school for 24 years. Please take note. And he has been known as the word the Lekki Headmaster. Now, the Lekki Headmaster is his word, nickname. The Lekki Headmaster is what? Nickname. Now you might be asked, why was he given that nickname? Yes? Why was he given that nickname? Because okay. All right, thank you. Now he was called the Lekki Headmaster because he had similar character with the village headmaster. I don't know. There's nobody here that watched village headmaster. I'm very. Eh? If you are here and you watch village headmaster, let me see hands up. Come marry. But even do you know how many years ago that was? Okay, I did not even grow up to watch village headmaster, so I'm wondering how you watched it. Now you know. All right. So he has been known as the what Lekki Headmaster during his time as okay. It was first headmaster in Stardom Kiddies. That's the nursery and primary school. Before he now became principal. So you might be asked, it was first the headmaster of the primary school before he now became principal. All right. So and now the reputation for resolving conflicts and fostering a positive environment. His decision to leave, despite the success of Stardom, is seen by some colleagues as what? Foolish, especially when considering the financial reward awaiting him in the UK. His salary in Nigeria was a mere 400,000. Another question they can ask: how much was Mr. Beppo earning in Nigeria as a principal? He was earning 400,000. So Mr. Beppo earned 400,000 as principal of Stardom. Okay. While in the UK, it will earn nearly 6 times that amount in British pounds. All right. Next slide. Mr. Beppo had long been pursuing a life outside education. Imagine a future where he could venture into entrepreneurship. He had thought about starting his own business, such as a school, but lacked the capital. He also considered other ventures like farming or commercial transportation. However, with the pressure from his wife and the opportunity to work in the UK, these dreams were put on hold. Despite the substantial financial benefits of relocating, Beppo struggled with leaving behind his passion for teaching and the students of Stardom. The inner conflict forms the core of the chapter. Now, if I may ask you, why is Mr. Beppo, why is he sad? Is it not a good thing? As in, it's not supposed to be overwhelmed that he's traveling. If anybody, if you are given the opportunity to go to UK here, would you be happy? You will be able to sleep self. So what's not wrong with Mr. Beppo? Why is he unhappy? Yes, he's already used to that teaching life skill. So he has a pattern for teaching. Okay. Another thing is when you travel abroad there, you become a second class citizen. You become a what? What do I mean by becoming a second class citizen? Now you know when he was in Nigeria here, he was treated with respect. A lot of people, but getting there as a black, you're a second class citizen. There will be that regard that you have in your own country. So I guess that was one of the reasons she was scared of traveling. All right, next slide. So, chapter 3 now. All right. Now, Mr. Beppo's vision to relocate to the UK is now final. He becomes more interested in stories of migration to developed countries like the UK, USA, and Canada. is particularly intrigued by the concept of hourly wages. You know, here you are being paid salary at the end of the month. For in those countries, how do they pay? Hours. They pay per hours. Let's assume you work for 6 hours, they give you your money. That's not nice. Can we try it in Nigeria here? What do they want to see? Correct. So in that there they pay per hour. That's why you see anyone travel to the UK before 1 2 years, you see them already having money, sending money home to build house. Because there is the more hardworking you are, the more money you make. Some people juggle three work over there. Do one 6 hours, do another 6 hours, they will even still work overnight. So the more you work, the more you earn. That's how it is over there. So which contrasts with the fixed salary common in Nigeria? Is excited by the flexibility this system offers, which will allow you to work different jobs, just like I said, and earn more money. Beto learned from a friend in the US that one can earn between $150 and $250 per day. Imagine, look at that kind of money. Who can tell me how much do you think $250 is in naira compared to, speaking of the current exchange rate? That's almost how much. If you are not conversant with, hey, yeah, okay. Dollar is now around 1,600. Let's say 1,006 times 250. Hey, zero, 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 zero. 40,000. The math is poor. Who can calculate it for me? Anybody? 400,000. Imagine. So in Nigeria here, he was earning 400,000 per month. For now that is going to the UK, he will be earning 400,000 per day. Imagine that is different, and you are still not happy. Your monthly salary will now become your daily salary. Is that not silly? Imagine the salary that they collect here is what they give children to take. That's your lunch money. That's salary you are earning in Nigeria here. So if you like to travel to the UK with me, let me say answer. I'm planning on taking some people to the UK, you understand? Very soon I'll be going to the UK just to go and do some one or two things. Alright? Alright, let's move on. So depending on the job and location, alright, then with this information, it calculates that if he works 4 days in a week, he could earn close to 2,400 a month. That's easy money. Alright? A significant amount when converted to Nigerian naira. Next slide. He also has stories of Nigerians who even earn more. Just like I told you, the more you work, the more you earn. Okay, so chapter 3 explores the larger trend of Nigerians migrating abroad for better opportunities. If you go to the immigration office, if you see the number of people that are always there every day trying to travel out of the country, you won't blame them. Because currently in Nigeria, there's no high-paying work. Okay, there you can be washing toilets and earn more than a doctor here. You don't know. The Nigerians that travel, they know that the work they do. Wash toilets, do nanny, who bus attendants. Many works like that. But funny thing, they earn more than doctors and lawyers right here. Okay? So this chapter explores the larger trend of Nigerians migrating abroad for better opportunity, particularly in the fields like healthcare. The persons that enjoy the most are nurses. That's the most profitable work you can go and do there. You understand? Okay? You know, all right. Then therefore is motivated by the potential for financial stability and a better life, and also considers the education system in the UK, which offers, so in the UK, primary education is free, secondary education is free. The only one you pay for is the tertiary education. Is that the same here? Was the primary school free? The primary school was free. All right, so public school. Oh, I don't know those that attended public school. If you are here and you attended the public school, let me say answer. Be proud. Was it not free? You paid. Hey, there's nothing free in Nigeria. All right, so this is a stark contrast to the struggles many parents face in Nigeria, where education fees are also expensive. Through conversations with Shola, a former teacher at Stardom, who had already relocated to the UK, Beppo learns about the realities of life in the UK. So there's another introduction of another character now by the name Shola. So Shola is an ex-staff of Stardom that is now in the UK. Next slide. Next slide, sir. So Shola reassures him that his relocation will be easier because his wife is already established in the UK. So we have the burden of paying school fees. His wife is going to take care of that. Okay? But she now tells him the challenges that we face. You know, it's not easy being into a new country. There are some challenges you face. Financial pressure, and you know, there's high cost of living in the UK. So adapting to that won't be easy. So chapter 3 ends with Beppo feeling confident. Okay, last class is now saying, so it's time. So he's feeling confident about the decision, and he is now aware of the challenges that lie ahead of him. He reflects on the stories that Shola told him about those that have migrated, both the successes and the struggle, and he now understands that living abroad doesn't come without difficulties. Okay, so number 3 also highlights the allure of the UK as a land of opportunity, but also the realities that come with it. That's chapter 3. Not wasting time, we move to chapter 4. Next slide. Now, Mr. Beppo is disturbed by a late night phone call from Mrs. Ignatius. Mrs. Ignatius is the parent at Stardom. Okay? So she's one of the parents that overstepped her boundaries. She was now sharing personal issues with you. Imagine, what kind of familiarity is that? Why will you be sharing your personal issues with me? I'm just the principal of your child. Okay? So there's something fishy there. Okay? So on this occasion, she calls him at 1:55 a.m. Imagine, to discuss a family crisis. Her husband, Ibe Ignatius, is refusing to believe that their daughter, Favor, is his biological daughter after a DNA test, which the family had to take as part of their visa application. This revelation led to their visa being denied. So they wanted to travel abroad, the whole family, and they were supposed to do a DNA test. You know what a DNA test is? Testing to know if you are the biological father of a particular child. But when they did the DNA test, it came out that one of the children, by name Favor, is not actually belonging to Mr. Ignatius. So because of that, they denied their visa application. All right? And this revolution led to their visa being denied. So Mr. Ignatius is now desperate because he knows that the husband will not care the what. Will you return to such woman? That's an unsafe. Who said yes? Ah. Alright, so she fears that her husband may not return home after their heated discussion about the situation. Next slide. So Beppo just listens in silence, reflecting on the awkwardness of this personal matter. And I don't understand, why is she involving him in her personal life affairs? What does it have to do with it? So that's why I was wondering. Okay? So, and his reflection of the case he just proposed his own thoughts about his alien relocation to the UK. So he hopes to leave behind the stress of such situations. He knows that when he travels to the UK now, all of those things will not happen again. Then he also reminisces about the experiences he had at Stardom School. Now, that's another thing you can be asked. You can ask you, how is Mr. Beppo feeling? Now, Mr. Beppo is feeling nostalgia. What do I call it? Yes, he's feeling nostalgia. Now, to be feeling nostalgia means you are remembering past events and it's bringing you joy. Remembering past events or childhood events, and it brings you joy. So, in case you ask how Mr. Beppo is feeling, Mr. Beppo was feeling nostalgia. Okay, so he hopes to leave the stress. He contemplates on how parents' behavior affect the management of an elite school like Stardom, with some being considerate and others making demands that complicate his role as the principal. Next slide. Chapter 5. Now, chapter 5 begins with a lively break at Stardom School, with children and staff enjoying their time. Mrs. Ibidu Gloss, do you remember her? The managing director of the school, retreats to a secret room to rest as she deals with the chronic health issues that causes her discomfort while sitting for long periods. Okay? This is a well-kept secret, and only a few people in the school are aware of it, that secret room. Okay? After a brief rest, Mrs. Gloss decides to inspect a property that Stardom acquired years ago. Okay? Upon visiting the site, she's surprised to find that several cars, some new and some old models, are parked there, all with Stardom school stickers. So the land that the school got, instead of, they've not started to build it. So the teachers now converted it into what? Parking lot. And although the school already provided a parking space for them, but instead they started parking there. So the MD got furious. So she now began to suspect that hey, these people are nice teachers. Where are they saving money to buy this kind of cars? Alright, next slide. So she calls Mr. Beppo, the principal, obviously, and the school accountant to investigate the matter, sensing that there might be some financial mismanagement. The man is wondering that how much is your salary? You people that are met teachers, where are you getting money to buy this kind of cars? Okay? So when they meet at the property, Beppo and the accountant explain that the staff members, that most of them bought the cars using loan from the school cooperative. Okay? So it was from the cooperative, most of them got the loan to buy the cars. But she was still not satisfied, she was still not happy. So she raised further concern about the size and control of the cooperative finances. She now begin to think that so anybody can just come to the cooperative and just borrow money like that. So she wanted to now change some things there. So now these are the things you need to know in this chapter. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, it's not mentioned here. Now you might be asked, how much is in the school cooperative? Who can tell me? They had 95 million. So Stardom Cooperative, so those are things they usually like to ask amount, dates, number of years, things like that. So Stardom Cooperative had 95 million. How much are they borrowed out? 50 million. So they had loaned out 50 million. So please spell this down. This is another question they can ask you. So the cooperative had 95 million, but they are loaned, yes, they've loaned out about 50 million. So put that down. So she now makes some new rules for the approval of the loan. Next slide. So in this new rule, it's now stated that what? They cannot borrow more than 250,000. So the MD's new rules. So they can't borrow more than 250,000, and there must be approval from the MD. Okay, so those are the new changes she made. So they can't borrow more than 250,000, take note, and there must be approval before any loan can be granted. So chapter 6 now. So chapter 6 surrounding the tension of the school open day. You know the meaning of open day, right? That time where your parents will come to the school and check your notes and see how you are doing. So a day when parents meet with their teachers to discuss their children's academic progress. Okay? So while the event is a source of pride for many teachers, it can also be a day of tension as parents make their complaints, especially about issues related to their child's performance and behavior. So therefore is now nostalgic again, remembering a particular incident where the MD of the school summoned it into the office about one of the English teachers. Okay, what's the name of the English teacher? Mr. Papore. So please pen that down because they may ask you to. So the English teacher of Stardom is called Mr. Papore. Okay, so Mr. Papore, who has been teaching English at Stardom for several years, faces a crisis with the parents. What's the name of the parents to face the crisis with? Mr. Buta. Okay? And you might be asked, what was the cause of their crisis? I'm listening. A grammatical error. And they were this specific, right? You can tell me the sentence. They are this specific. Yes? Who can tell me the grammatical error, the particular statement? It was mentioned. Hello? Who can give me the exact statement? Okay. If you don't, let's say, all right, tell us. You. All right. So, yeah, son, let's see you. And you come here, be louder, be audible. Are they as well as Jide comes with S now, comes versus come. Okay. Comes or come to school. Thank you. So which one do you think is correct? Comes. Okay? And that's what the teacher actually said. For the Mr. Buta was now saying no, it can't be comes. That since they are what? Two. Ade and Jide. Comes. Is comes singular or plural? Singular. Please remember when I was teaching them Concord, or when I was teaching Concord rather, when you have S at the back of the verb, that verb is, please take note, just put it somewhere. For general knowledge sake, adding S to a verb makes it singular. You know, when you add S to a noun, it becomes plural. But when S is added to a verb, it becomes singular. Adding S to a verb makes it singular. So Mr. Buta was like saying, what kind of grammatical error is that? We have Ade, we have Jide, there are two. Are we not supposed to use plural come? But not knowing that there's a particular rule that says when you have two subjects joined by phrases such as well as, together with, also, it takes a singular verb. In fact, the MD had already misbehaved. She fired Mr. Papori. It was not later that Mr. Beppo and she now discovered that it was actually correct. So it was now rehired. All right. So let's move on. Next slide. So the error in question is a sentence when Mr. Papori uses comes instead of come. Okay. In a sentence about two students. So in her frustration, he said Mr. Papori's teaching is inadequate and she fired him. But Mr. Beppo later disagrees with Mr. Gloss and he defends Mr. Papori's use of grammar. So he explains to her that it's grammatically correct because, just like I said earlier, you have as well as goes with singular verb. Okay? So despite the tension, Beppo stands by his decision to support Mr. Papori, but Mrs. Gloss remains determined to let him go. But later on, he was rehired. Next slide. So the situation becomes more awkward when it was revealed that the principal and Mr. Papori were correct. So the MD now realized he made a mistake. So chapter 6 now ends on a lighter note when Mr. Audu is also a teacher that uses detention with humor. He humorously pardons his loss for a mistake and staff members share a laugh, easing the pressure from the earlier confrontation. So chapter 6 highlights the challenges of leadership, the pressure from parents, and dynamics between school management and its teachers. Next slide. So therefore reflects on his previous teaching experiences, particularly his time at this way group of schools. Now he's been nostalgic going back to the time where he was teaching at this way group of schools, okay? Where he faced a tense situation with the director over the grammatical error. Now, should it be this way group of school or this way group of schools? Which one is correct? Group of schools, having more than one, okay? But the director said there's something spiritual about the name, that forget the grammar, that what he wants is group of schools. So we forgot about that. Next slide. So Beppo, however, struggled in response and it undermined his professional integrity as a senior English teacher. So which means Mr. Beppo is not just a principal, he happened to be only an English teacher. So you might be asked, before Mr. Beppo became the principal of Stardom, what was he doing? He was the English teacher at Israel Group of School. So please pen that down. Mr. Beppo was the English teacher at Israel Group of Schools. Okay, that's another question might be asked. So the director agreed out to correct the name. So they even told him, there's a mistake there. He said, no, it's not changing it. So Beppo now left this way. It's not because of the grammatical blunder or the grammatical issue, but a ritualistic event. Okay, so one night, Beppo saw the director and several men burying a cow alive on school grounds. Damn, does that not sound fetish? It's fetish. Understand? Why bury a cow alive? Well, for what? For what reason? Next slide. So initially, Beppo thought it was a supernatural or occultic ritual, but the director later claimed that it's part of the spiritual prayer for his late father. I don't understand. How does burying a cow alive have to do with your prayer for your late father? Something fishy is going on. Okay? So that's why the director's explanation, Beppo was shaken by the event, realizing that there were darker forces at play, definitely. So he struggled with whether he should report the incident to the authorities, but the potential consequences made him hesitant. Okay? So the disturbing experience marks the end of Beppo's time at this way. So they are asked, why did Mr. Beppo leave this way? What will be the answer? Because of a ritualistic event. So please, that's another question can be asked. Why did Mr. Beppo leave this way? He left this way because of a ritualistic event. All right. Next slide. So chapter 8 now. As Beppo prepares to leave for the UK, he reflects on the unresolved issues he will leave behind. One of the most painful is the legal dispute between the families of two students, Banky and Tosh. Okay? So the rivalry has been simmering for years, exacerbated, that's worsened, by the parents' involvement in the conflict. During an election for school prefects, now, another place you can ask a question. Now, during this election, how much was the form sold for head boy? 50,000. Okay? So during the school election, those are little things. They would think that you overlook the solution. Those are little things they're looking out for. So the form for head boy was sold for 50,000. How about form for head girl? The form for head girl was sold at 40,000. Then the other posts were sold for 5,000. 25,000. All right. So please pen that down. That's another information you need to know. So during the school election, the form for the head boy was sold for 50,000, head girl 40,000, other posts 25,000. All right. So during the election, Banky made an inflammatory remark about Trust's father, calling him an ex-convict. You know the meaning of ex-convict? Then what do you understand? So this comment escalated tension, leading Tosh to come out of the event, and ultimately legal action was taken. Beppo, who had tried to mediate between the families, found himself unable to resolve the issue. Despite his efforts, the legal battle continued to hinder. So the legal battle is between who and who? Joshua and Tosh. Joshua. Banky and Tosh. Okay? And it is being caused by Banky's statement calling Tosh's father an ex-convict. Okay? So next slide. He also lamented that he would miss the launch of the Invention Club Spread project, a student-led initiative to create a food from recycled materials. Ooh. The project had gained interest from the media and an NGO. What's the meaning of NGO? non-governmental organization, and they are non-profit making. They are not there to make profit. Okay, and Beppo had been a strong supporter. He feared that the project might stall in his absence and he would miss out on the moment of achievement. Okay, but despite these challenges, Beppo hoped that the legal dispute could still be settled outside of court. So this legal battle now, they wanted to take it to court, but Mr. Beppo was hoping that it's something they were able to settle without going to court, right? Then, and the Invention Club project will continue to flourish even after his departure. However, he could not shake the feeling of having many tasks unfinished. He felt like, I've not accomplished everything I want to accomplish. He felt like he was leaving things behind, okay? And these unresolved issues, he weighed him down heavily on his decision to relocate. Next slide. Southern schools had built a strong tradition of excursion. This is another place where you can be asked questions. Now, the question you can be asked there is, where are the excursion spots that Southern students have been to? You know, they mentioned like 3 or 4, right? So together, so giving student exposure to Nigeria's rich cultural and historical heritage. PREPO, a strong proponent of this excursion, had organized numerous trips for the students, visiting iconic sites such as their excursion. So they've been to Irijesha Waterfall. Please pen it down. Irijesha Waterfall. Irijesha Waterfall is aware. Osun State. In fact, there's a question whereby they ask, what year was this Irijesha Fall? It will not come. This is 1852. So please put it down by the answer. So Irijesha Waterfall was founded in 1852. By who? This one? Okay, it's Ikogosi. Alright. So Irijesha Waterfall at Osun State. Then Ikogosi Warm Spring. That one is aware. Ekiti. Founded at 1852. By who? They mention the person's name. John MCD. SCD. MCDE. Under E. Okay, John McGee. Alright. So, and Owu Waterfalls, they also went to 1, 2, then 3 Owu Waterfalls. I think that one is aware. Owu Waterfalls. This one is aware. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, it's not those. I think it's Ilori. Mention now. Okay. Kwara, thank you. Kwara State. Only Ilori. Alright, then, apart from this place, they went to other places now. So these trips were not just educational, but also served to enrich the students' understanding of Nigeria's natural and beauty history. Okay? Beppo's effort to promote cultural awareness were further reflected in his philosophy of ensuring students had a deep connection with their own country, especially since many of them will eventually study abroad. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, so in your this instruction will instill a sense of pride in their heritage, exposure to Nigeria's rich cultural and historical heritage. Beppo, a strong proponent of this excursion, had organized numerous trips for the students, visiting iconic sites such as Irijesha Waterfall. Yes. Is that? Okay, we read this one. Sorry, the next slide, sir. Next. Okay, sorry. Back. Okay. So in this excursion with the sense of pride in a deeper understanding of nation they came from. The students also visited historical sites like the National Museum. Then they also visited what? The National Theatre. Please pen me down. When I ask you, the students had visited all of these places except you just put one that is not there. They might ask you, the students of Saddam have visited the following places except, so these are places they went to. There is a waterfall in Osun, the Kogosi One Spring in Ekiti, founded in 1852 by John McGee, the Owu Waterfalls in Kwara State, the National Museum in Lagos, the National Theatre in Lagos, and they also went to Badagry, okay? The first story building in Badagry. The first story building. So these were their excursions for. So we have 6 of them. There is a waterfall, the Kogosi One Spring, Owu Waterfall, National Museum, National Theatre, and the first story building in Badagry. Okay? So on one of the excursions to Badagry, a town with a significant history in the transatlantic slave trade, people was moved by the stories of the enslaved people. Do you still remember the stories of how our forefathers were enslaved? You remember? Did you guys do history in school? It also was that they were collecting slaves and giving our forefathers mirror. Yes, and that time they were making them work in sugar plantation. They would padlock their mouth so I don't eat the sugar cane. Imagine the kind of pain they went through. Imagine creating, oh yeah, put padlock. Very wicked sort of people. They treated us like animals. Okay? So it reflected on the irony that many Nigerians today were willing to seek visas to leave the country, seeking opportunities abroad at any cost, even if it meant accepting demeaning jobs. I already told you, I gave an example of the kind of jobs that Nigerians took there, but it was better because the wages were compared to Nigeria, but they were paid monthly. Okay, the next slide. Next slide. So Bebo finds it troubling that after centuries of struggle, many Nigerians were now essentially seeking a form of new slavery. He's trying to say, after everything our forefathers have gone through, you trying to rush over there, you see a form of modern slavery. And it's true. You that you are a doctor here, a first class citizen, when you get there, you become cleaner. You that you're a lawyer here, when you get there, you become houseboy. You that you are an engineer there, when you get there, you become nanny. That was slavery. Are you not still under them? Was behind like modern slavery. Okay? So this contract defeat travel day, especially as he too was preparing to leave Nigeria for the UK. So he was talking about other people before. He has forgotten that he himself is traveling there. So it is part of the slavery process. Okay? So the students also visit the Akran of Badagry's palace. So 7, they visited the Akran of Badagry's palace. Then the first story building within that, the Black Heritage Museum, which left a lasting impact on people. It felt a deep connection to the history of the place and was moved by the stories of slavery. Now, that's why I told you the key mood, in case you ask, that what was the mood of the protagonist? It was being nostalgic most times. Don't forget this word, nostalgic. Mr. Beppo was nostalgia. Mr. Beppo was nostalgia. All right. So, however, it couldn't shake the thought that many Nigerians were repeating the cycle of dependency on foreign powers, willingly enslaving themselves for financial gain. Said, these people are becoming slaves. Why? Because of money. But can you blame them? No. He said yes. Is it easy to make money? No. All right, next slide. Okay, chapter 10 now. So let's do chapter. So Beppo had put off renewing his expired passport for 2 years, mostly lacking to the last of. So in case you might be asked, it looks like a simple detail, but those are the things they will ask you. So his passport has expired for how many years? 2 years, pending down. So Mr. Beppo's passport had expired for 2 years. All right. So, however, by the first quarter of 2022, the pressure from his family grew unbearable, and he knew he had to take action. So, his passport renewal had become an urgent matter, but the complications surrounding it made it uneasy. Okay, the pandemic had delayed the process initially, and when things started to return to normal, the influx, that is the number of people entering into Alausa, that's the immigration office, they were too much. So instead of going through that process, he decided to go to Ibadan. He decided to travel to where? Ibadan. Okay, next slide. So the new passport rules seem to be even more complicated, and soon bribery had become a common solution to speed up the process. So desperate, Beppo decided to try his luck in Ibadan, where he found an agent who could expedite the process. After paying an FP fee to the agent, Ty, now you might be asked, how much did he pay Ty, the agent? 100,000 naira. Those things might seem like little info, but those are the things they will dwell on. They know the things you will do, and they know the things you overlook. Those info that you overlook, that's where the things will come from. So please remember, Ty was the Ibadan agent, and he was paid 100,000 by Mr. Beppo. Why? To speed up the process of the passport. So please pen that down. So Beppo made a trip to Ibadan. He opted to travel by public bus, fearing for his safety due to reports of kidnapping along the Lagos-Ibadan route. So the journey was smoother than expected, thanks to the newly constructed road. So upon arrival, Beppo met with Ty, who took care of the paperwork and connected him with an official who would handle his application. Next slide. So despite the legal framework that outlawed middlemen, the system still ran on bribery and corruption. Beppo paid the agent an extra amount for faster processing. So apart from the 100,000 he paid to Ty, he paid another money. How much was that? To the official. You see, those little information you bypass, that's what you ask. He paid an extra 20,000 naira. Okay, so pen it down. So apart from this 100,000 given to Ty, he also paid another 20,000 to the official. So this little info that you overlook, that's where the questions will come out from. Okay, so he was told to return in 3 weeks for data capturing. So the whole process left him feeling frustrated, but relieved to have it behind him. So he still feared missing his travel date. He struggled with the passport system, where he starts reminder of challenges he faced as he prepared to leave Nigeria for a new life in the United Kingdom. Next slide. So the farewell for Beppo was an emotional affair. So the students and staff of Stardom, they wanted to give him a farewell. So and it was 1 week celebration in honor of the principal. Okay. So first of all, there was a novelty match. So things we need to know about the farewell ceremony. So the farewell ceremony, things we need to know about it. Number one, it lasted for a week. Lasted for 1 week. Then two, there was a novelty match between who and who. The match was between who and who? The staff and students. Now you might be asked, what was the outcome of the match? Those people, they look demeaning, they look little. But that's what you be asked. What was the outcome of the match? 4-3. The outcome of the match was what? 4-3. Put it down. So the farewell was filled with then they had a debate. Okay? So there was a debate, and the topic of the debate was science. Yes. It was what? Okay, 3-2. Alright, thank you. It's not 4-3, it's 3-2. Thank you for that. So those are the little info that they asked. And there was also a debate. Okay? And the debate was like Science students have played more role. Science had um, Science has played more role in the society than art students. Okay? Then the opposing will now be art students have played better role than science students. So there was a debate. Then what else do we have in the farewell? Next slide. So students and teachers alike showcase their talent in dance. So we also had what? We had dance, drama, and music. Okay, so these are the highlights of the farewell ceremony. So the cultural performances including bata, what's that? Atilogu, who can pronounce that? Atilogu. I don't know what that was. Let's just pronounce it as Atilogu, Koroso, and Kenu dances. Highlighted Nigeria's rich heritage. The tradition Beppo had always encouraged and celebrated. Okay, the student had perfected the Kenu dance, which held a special place in Beppo's heart, reminding him of the trip to Badagry and the history of slavery. So, as the farewell festival concluded, Beppo was presented with a generous gift from the school. So, it was also what? Giving a gift, giving a gift. I don't know, was the gift mentioned? What was he giving? 100,000. Is that $10? Is it $10 or 100,000? $10,000. Are you sure? Not okay. So I was giving not less than $10,000. That's a lot of money. Wow, nice. So Mrs. Ibidu Gloss, the managing director of Stardom, spoke on how Beppo had become an integral part of the school, contributing to its growth and its success. So the MD praised Beppo's dedication, empathy, and commitment to his students and staff. The last chapter now, next slide. You see chapter 11. All right, so she also revealed that Beppo's first encounter with the school had been with her late father, Chief David Ajay. So another character has been introduced, Chief David Ajay. So Chief David Ajay happens to be the what? Father of who? Mrs. Who happens to be the what? Father of the MD of Stardom. Mrs. whatever. So who had believed in Beppo's potential even before he officially joined the school. Beppo was overwhelmed with emotion as he received a gift, a check worth $10,000, and the outfit thanks of the Stardom family. The entire assembly rose to their feet in ovation, showing their deep appreciation for his years of service. How many years of service are we talking about here? 24. Please take note. So Beppo, unable to hold back his tears, so emotional, struggled to find the words to express his gratitude. He realized that leaving Stardom, a place that had become his second home, would be one of the hardest moments of his life. Next slide. All right, the last chapter now. The day of Beppo's departure had arrived. Okay, he was set to fly to the UK, but as he prepared to leave, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. Now, before all of this, do you know that he missed or he suspended his initial flight and he paid a fine? How much was that fine he paid? $100. So please take note. Those little, can you see they even they skipped it here, but it's questions they can ask. So he paid a fine of $100 for what? For cancellation of his flight. Cancellation of his flight. So please take note. They paid a fine of $100 because for the cancellation of his flight. Okay. So memories of his time at Stardom, the relationship he had built with students and colleagues, and the culture he had fostered, all came rushing back to him, still feeling nostalgia. All of this feeling is still feeling what? Nostalgia. Please remember. So at the airport, as he went through the check-in process, He was met with affectionate farewells from his colleagues, including Mrs. Apple, the vice principal, Mr. Jeremy Amos, the school accountant. So another character we're not talking about, Mr. Jeremy Amos, school accountant. Okay? So now if you're talking about the main characters here, we have Mr. Beppo. Then we have that MD, Mrs. Ibi. Then we had Shola. Then Mrs. Apple, vice principal. Mr. Jeremy Amos, accountant. Okay. The farewell was bittersweet, and Beppo felt the weight of leaving the students behind. However, as he made his way to the boarding gate, a sudden realization hit him. Next slide. The people he had mentored, the school he had helped him to continue to thrive in his absence. Now I was now feeling somehow that after all my years in this school, after the students I've mentored, so that's how I would just leave and then the school will continue without me. So he was already having this doubt in him. Okay? So as he settled into the seat on the plane, Peppo slipped into a dreamlike state. Okay? He found himself at the now he's dreaming. He found himself back at the Heritage Slave Museum in Badagry, witnessing the cruel treatment of slaves. He screamed, desperate to stop the suffering, but was pulled back to reality by a flight attendant who gently tapped him on the shoulder. So it was at that moment that passed, his emotions were still raw. Okay? As the plane took off, Beppo drifted between dreamland and reality, unsure of what the future held. But determined to face it head on, he had made his mark on stardom, and now it was time for a new chapter. Next slide. Back at stardom, life continued without Beppo. You know, there's no one that is indispensable. No matter what, soldier goes, soldier come, barrack remains the same. So his absence, although they felt his absence was keenly felt by everyone, especially the students. They had already grown up, they already used to him being the principal, and now they have to face the reality of having a new leader. But funnily enough, as they gathered for their Monday assembly, something unexpected happened. The students were unable to accept the change. They rushed to the gate chanting, Principal, 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 Principal. So they lifted Mr. Beppo on their shoulders, celebrating his return, even though it was only for a moment. Beppo's heart swelled with pride as he realized his legacy as stardom would never fade. So imagine, he came back. So which means he took back his word. Was that the meaning? Wow. Who does that? How will you pass an opportunity to stay in the UK over being principal of the school? I guess it's pastor. Next slide. Next slide. So, the love and respect he has earned from students to school and the entire community will remain with him, no matter where he went. As students danced around him, singing their victory song, everyone knew that his vision as stardom had been completed. He now said, but as he said, I am here to complete my mission, and that mission will live in the hearts of those he had inspired. So he felt as if he had not completed his mission, so he came back to complete his mission. Next slide. Okay, the conclusion now. So, for better understanding what the video is here, okay? So that's just what the Lekki Headmaster all about. So now we'll quickly treat about 40 questions. And this is how we're going to do it. Once I project the question, everyone come out with a piece of paper and this thing. So you pick your option from A to D. I move to the next question, you pick your option. So when we're not doing the corrections, you will exchange your neighbor to mark for you so that you can grade yourself. Please, everyone should attempt. It's just 40, it's just 50 questions. Okay? So I'll just, and it will just be like 30 seconds. So once you see the question, just quickly write your options. See the question, write the options. Then we'll have the correction afterwards. Are you ready? Okay, so quickly bring out the book. Please, everyone should attempt so that you know where you stand. And during the correction, you will help the person to write the correct option. So that, and these questions, I selected them because my spirit was telling me those are the questions you see. So please don't joke with them. Are we ready? Please, everyone must attempt. Make sure the person next to you is with a pen and book. I'll project the question. Once you see it, just write the option. Move to next question. That's how we're doing. So we're done with the questions. We'll take the corrections, and that will be all. Are we ready now? Should I give you a minute or you're ready? You're ready. All right. So let's project the questions now. All right. Number one question. What seemed unusual about the principal's work to the podium? That's on chapter 1. What was the unusual thing? A, he moved quickly. B, he moved ponderously. C, he was smiling. D, he was running. Pick your answer quickly. No. We'll do the correction now. Don't tell me the answer. Pick it. So when I'm doing the question, that's when we take the answer. Have you picked the answer? All right. Question 2. You need to be fast. 30 seconds per question. You need to time yourself. Okay. What instruction did the vice principal give regarding the students? A, to continue with the assembly. That was when his breakdown happened. When he broke down tears. So what did the vice principal say? He said that A, they should continue with the assembly. B, they should go home immediately. C, they should go to their classes. Or D, they should gather around the principal. Pick your answer. Have you picked? All right. Question 3. What did Mr. Beppo Adewale use to shield his face? That was during his breakdown. What did he use in covering his face? Did he use a book? Did he use an handkerchief? Did he use his scarf or jacket? Pick your answer. Pick your answer. Pick your answer. Have you picked? Too fast. 30 seconds per question. All right. Question 4. Who took the microphone from the principal? Was it Miss Titi? Was it Mr. Justice Annabelle? Was it Angel, the chapel prefect? Or Mrs. Grace Appel? Pick your answer. Oh, too fast. Please, return this up. All right. Quickly. There's no time. Once you are saying the question, just begin to. You all get the word. We've done the summary together and we mentioned most of these things. All right. I will put the answer now. Question 5. What did the principal keep Mutri according to a concerned parent? What was he saying when they were consoling him? Was he saying, I'm fine? Was he saying, no? Was he saying, help me please? Or I can't do this? What was Mr. Beppo? Oh, please return it, sir. What was Mr. Beppo saying when during his breakdown? 10 seconds. Have you picked your answer? All right, next one. How did the principal respond when asked what the matter is? How did Mr. Beppo respond? Did he laugh? Did he speak loudly? Did he sob freely? Or did he smile? Pick your answer. Have you done that? Please return it, sir. You need to be fast. We want to just say, let's try and check. But I'll be giving 10 to 15 seconds. Have you picked the answer now? All right, the next one. What recent change had improved students' attendance? A, was it introduction of A, this is A, was it the introduction of new classes? B, was it the lowering of the boarding fees? C, was it because they had a change in principal or an increase in staff? What made students' attendance? What made it grow? Not just attendance, what made their enrollment grow too? Same question. I've spoken about it, let's forget. All right, next question. Next question, sir. All right. How did Ikenna Ogu gain the attention of his fellow students during the pep talk? Okay. How did Ikenna Ogu gain the attention of his students during the pep talk? A, is it by criticizing them? B, is it by sharing a personal story? C, is it by singing a song? D, or was it telling jokes? Pick your answer quickly. Pick your answer. How was he able to achieve that? Have you done that? Next question. What did the principal's position in school symbolize according to the MD? That's according to the MD of Stardom. What was the position of Mr. Beppo? What was it symbolizing? A, chaos and confusion. Plenty of chaos, like war and a hell. B, sanity and calmness. Sanity is a state of being sane. Okay. C, distraction and disorder. E, isolation and loneliness. The time of Mr. Beppo at the school, what did he signify? Pick your answer quickly. Have you done that? All right, next question. How long did the teacher spend trying to console the principal during his breakdown? How long was it they spent in consoling him? Was it 10 minutes? Was it more than 30 minutes? Was it 1 hour? Or was it 15 minutes? Have you selected the answer? All right, good. Next question. How long had Mr. Beppo been headmaster at Stardom University? Okay, sorry, at Stardom Kiddies. Okay, you know, before he became principal at Stardom College, he was already headmaster at the Kiddies. So how many years did he spend as headmaster? Is it 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, or 8 years? Okay, are you pick the answer? Are we pick the answer? All right. Okay, next one. This one is quite simple. Unless we are not paying attention when we solve it. What nickname was given to Mr. Beppo? What was nickname given to him? Is it village? Who asked you to echo the answer? So what was the nickname? It's not that like a bonus, but anyhow. But if you're a listener attentively, you would remember. So what nickname was given to him? Is it village principal, Lekki Headmaster, town teacher, academic leader? To pick your answer. Next question. What was Mr. Beppo's wife's profession? His wife that was already in the UK. What was she doing there? If you guys paid attention, yes? If you paid attention during the summary, these questions will be simple. Someone called sir, what? Any problem? So his wife that was in the UK, what was her profession? Was she a teacher, nurse, engineer, or doctor? Have you selected the answer? All right, do that quickly. All right, next one. How much was Mr. Beppo being paid as salary at Stardom? If I'm not mistaken, it's still okay, it's no longer on the board, all right? But if you are with us, you still remember how much was he earning at Stardom? Is it 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, or 500,000? I mentioned it, if you remember. Okay. Next, what did one of Beppo's colleagues find funny about his decision to relocate? Now, when he said he wanted to relocate to the UK, what was it that man, the Mr. Audi, what did he find funny? Was it A, is it the salary difference? B, is it the love he has for the students? C, is it his lack of a fake wife at the embassy? Or D, his desire for a better life? What did he find funny? Those colleagues, that's Mr. Audi to be precise. What did he find funny? Okay? Let's read the answer. 16. How did Mr. Beppo feel about his prospects in the UK? Was he optimistic? You know what it means to be optimistic? You are seeing the better side of it. It's going to be nice, it's going to be good. Was he pessimistic? Seeing the bad side of it. Like, oh, I'm not going to enjoy this UK. Was he indifferent? Indifferent means not happy, not sad. You are in the middle. You are not happy, you are not optimistic, you are not pessimistic. Or was he anxious? Okay, that's all about that. Next question. What was the main concern among Mr. Barrow's colleagues about his relocation? So his colleagues talking about starting from the vice principal, Ms. Grace Affair, to Mr. Udu, to Mr. Papore, and the other colleagues. What was their major concern? Was it his relationship with students? Was it the financial education? Was it his ability to be able to adapt, or family obligation? What was that thing that concerned them? Okay, we've mentioned it today too. All right. Next question. How much would one earn per day in the US according to Beppo's friend? Beppo's friend, that's Shola. So according to Shola, how much, I've mentioned it unless you're not paying attention, how much is it possible to learn in a day? Is it $100 to $150, $150 to $250, $250 to $500, $500 to $750? If you pay attention, you still remember. Next question. What was the experience of Shola's child, Betty, in the UK healthcare system? A, he received pure care for asthma. She had a seizure but received excellent care. C, she was denied medical attention. D, she had to pay for all her treatments. So Shola was the former staff at Stardom, you understand, that are related to the UK. So our child Betty had a particular experience at the UK system. What was that experience? Okay, have you picked the answer now? Not yet. Quickly, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. How long had Mrs. Gloss been living with her condition? How long had Mrs. Gloss been living with her condition? Mrs. Gloss, we are talking about the MD of Stardom. Is it 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or over 40 years? How long has she been living with her condition? Okay. Have you picked the answer? All right. The next one. The principal walked to the dash from the back of the dash. Is it that he walked from the podium to the back of the assembly, or he walked from the class to the back of the church, or he walked from the podium to the back of the class, or he walked from the assembly to the back of the podium? Pick your answer. Please, I hope everyone is attentive. Please attend. Right? Next. He was not as smart as he used to be. Thank God before I started, I already gave you an in-depth knowledge into figure of speech. So by now, the only figure of speech I don't mention here is sarcasm. Right? And let me just really tell you, sarcasm is a figure of speech, or sarcasm are words said to inflict pain. Okay? Sarcasm is like irony, but it's just a bigger form of irony. You know, in irony, you are saying the opposite of what you mean. But in sarcasm, you are saying the opposite of what you mean, but in this time around, you want to inflict pain on the person you are talking about. And if you remember what metaphor is, I told you metaphor is direct comparison between two things of different nature. Similarly, comparison using what? As or like. Then hyperbole, exaggeration. Then sarcasm, saying the opposite of what you did to inflict pain on the hearer. Saying the opposite of what you did to inflict pain. So sarcasm can be pain for a time. For example, someone just walks up to me and says, sir, are you teaching? No, I'm picking beans. That's sarcasm. Don't just see some teaching and then you say, actually, am I teaching? No. I'm arranging things. So you have to pick the figure of speech that was used in that statement. It was not as bad as it used to be. What figure of speech was used there? All right, next question. Who was the chapel prefect of Stardom University? Hey, devil. Grace, Justice, Angel. What was the name of their chapel? Devil. Write it there. Devil is using you already. All right, the next question. Dozens of perplexed eyes. Dozens of perplexed eyes. Refers to what? Is he talking about the students and members of staff, students and parents? Is he talking about the teaching and non-teaching staff, or the parents and teachers? So that statement, dozens of perplexed eyes, who was it referring to? The students and staff, students and parents, teaching and non-teaching staff, or parents and teachers? Pick your answer. All right, next. Dash was referred to as the whipper. Who was called the whipper in the book? Is it the school nurse? Is it the vice principal? Is it the principal? Is it Mr. Beppo Adewale? Imagine, look at the option. Is the principal trusting Mr. Beppo Adewale? So, who was called the whipper? Who was nicknamed the whipper? All right, pick your answer. Next question. Dash fetched handkerchief and offered the whipper. Who gave the whipper handkerchief? Was it the vice principal? Was it Angel? Was it Titi? Or was it Mrs. Grace Appel? Who gave the whipper handkerchief? All right, pick your answer. Next. The managing director of the Stardom School was, what's the name of the managing director? Very cheap question. Pick your answer. Is it Mr. Beppo Adewale, Mrs. Grace, Mrs. Becker again, or Mrs. Ibido Gross? Pick your answer. Next question. That was simple, don't waste time. Who was described as a bunch of biting humor? Who did they call? Who did they describe as a bunch of biting humor? Was it Mr. Audu, Mr. Audu, Mr. Oyelano, or Mr. Adewale? Who was described as 27? Okay, please, sir, please, can you go back to the previous question? The name of the managing director. Have you all put the answer? Yeah. All right, next question. So who was described as a bunch of biting people? Is it Mr. Audu, Mrs. Audu, Mr. Audu, Mr. Oyelano, or Mr. Adewale? Please pick your answer. Next. Just welcomed us with full arms. All of these figure of speech I've explained to you. So try, look at it. Just welcomed us with full arms. Now let me give you a clue. Just is welcoming us with full arms. Just Just is not having arms to welcome us. From that, you have already gotten the answer now. Alright? I will put the answer. Alright, next question. Southern school students went to Dash for their excursion. You see, where did they go to for their excursion? Was it Maduguri in Borno? Was it Yola in Adamawa? Was it Lafia in Nasarawa? Or Jos in Plateau State? Where did they go for their excursion? Very simple. I will think, but please, based on the summary I've done and based on the book we have there, please, nobody should call less than 40. Please, I beg you. So that we trash it. Next question. Mr. Beppo expressed his frustration for how many days? I already mentioned this one during the summary. So those of you that attend to during the summary, most of these questions will be cheap. So how many days was he frustrated before you now knew what was happening to him? Was it 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, or 6 days? I mentioned it during the summary. All right, next question. 2 hours. Who said 2 hours? The devil is already using you. It's obvious. All right. The next question. I'm coming. All right. Should you return back to the previous question? So question 32 now. The 2 children of Mr. and Mrs. Beppo Adewale are Lady and Kike, Nike and Kike, Funke and Kike, Nike and Funke. Who asked you? Pick your answer. All right. So the next question now. Who is the Lekki Headmaster? Is it Mr. You? You are the Lekki Headmaster. Is it Mr. Opewande? Is it Mr. Audu? Hey, there is evidence. Mr. Audu, okay, Mr. Justice Annabelle or Mr. Beppo Adewale. All right, pick your answer. Next question. How far was the piece of land from the school's back gates? Now, the piece of land that we're talking about that Mr. Gloss said they thought you parking lots. How far was it from the school? Is it about 10 minutes away, about 5 minutes away, about 15 minutes away, or about 20 minutes away? Now, this question, they might seem insignificant, but they are not. Those are the little things. Those details they know that we overlook. Okay? Next question. How much has been loaned out of the cooperative? We mentioned it. We already mentioned it during how much? They had 90 million. Wow. I'm already giving you. They had 90 million in the cooperative. Please, next questions. I already need that to answer the question. You know done it? All right, please. Back to the previous one. So how much are the cooperative loaned out? Was it 50 million, over 100 million, over 200 million, or over 300 million? Yes? 34. Let's go back to it. Okay, please, sir, number 34. Okay, so how far was the piece of land from the school's back gates? The land that Mrs. Gloss, the land they got for Stardom, the land that when she got there, teachers were already parking there. So how far was it from the school's back gate? It was mentioned, was it about 10 minutes? Was it about 5 minutes away? Was it 15 minutes away or about 20 minutes away? Okay? All right, so next, 36 now. Next one. So how much did Mr. Papore earn as salary? Do you still remember Mr. Papore? Who was Mr. Papore? English teacher. Okay, so how much was the salary? 200,000, 175,000, 150,000, or 100,000. So how much was Mr. Papore earning as English teacher. Next question. What did Fruitful Future School, why did Fruitful Future School eventually close? Who owns that school? Mr. Beppo. That was the school he opened after his NYC. So why did the school close? Was it due to a lack of funds to relocate due to environmental issue? Or was it due to high competition from other schools? Or was it due to low enrollment or government revolution? Why did Mr. Beppo have to close down that school? Have you put the answer? All right. The next one. Next question. How much did Mr. Ogo ask for in order to perform the ritual? You know the ritual we're talking about? The ritual performed that this way. Okay? So how much did Mr. Ogo ask in order to perform the ritual? Was it 10,000, 35,000, 50,000, or 100,000? How much did he ask to perform the ritual? Have you picked the answer? What? What's that? You're asking me? All right. Please pick the answer. Have you done that? Please be fast. All right. Next question. What was the significance of the Oromiyan staff visited by Stardom Studios? Oromiyan staff, that's at Ife, at Ilefe. So what was the symbol? A, was it the symbol of Yoruba heritage? B, was it an historical landmark? C, did it mark the site where Oduduwa descended from heaven? Or B, was it a tourist attraction? Oromiyan was the last born of Oduduwa. Who did not do that in Yoruba? Who is Oduduwa? The man that came from Oduduwa. The man that came from heaven with rope now. You've not heard about it. They didn't teach you Yoruba. Oh. Oduduwa had 7 children and Oromiyan was the last child. Alright? So that's detail for another day. Next question. What was Beppo's emotional state during the farewell ceremony? Yes, this farewell ceremony. How was he feeling? Remember, these were the things, the highlights of the ceremony. Lasted for 1 week. The novelty match, the day, dance, drama, music, then the gift. So how was he feeling? Was he excited about his new journey? Was he overwhelmed with gratitude and nostalgia? Thank God I told you the meaning of nostalgia. Do you still remember? You forgot the meaning of nostalgia. Please spell it down. To be nostalgia means to remember past events and it's bringing you joy. Literature students should be something they know. We are used to nostalgia. So science students and commercial students. Because they might be asked about this question. They might ask you, what was the general mood of Mr. Beppo? So most times in the novel, he was feeling nostalgia. He was feeling nostalgia. That's the general mood. Okay? So to be nostalgia means remembering past events, or childhood events, and bringing present joy. So that's what it means to be nostalgic. When you're remembering things that have happened to you in the past, or things that happened to you in the child, and it's now giving you joy. That's being nostalgic. Or C, was it torn between living and staying? Or D, both C and B and C? So that's about that. 41. Who was described as the clownish teacher? 41. Who was described as the clownish teacher? Who did they call the clownish teacher? Was it Mr. Audu? Was it Mr. Oyelano? Was it Miss Titi or Mrs. Grace Apple? Who did they call the clownish? Who did they call the clownish teacher? Pick the answer. All right, next. Beppo finally makes up his mind to relocate to, you know where it's going to. Pick your answer. Next. The government considered that, okay, sorry. All right. I thought that question was too cheap. That's why I just went there. But some people will still miss it. Those that didn't pay attention. Imagine, I even still mentioned something about it. Remember? Yes. That for question was now 41. Please, I'll go back to question 41. Okay, 42 now. So we made his mind to go to where? To that pick by now. All right, the next one. So the government considered that Up to dash of the countries that doctor was migrating annually. Was it up to 750 doctors? Well, was it up to 750 to 1,000, or 1,000 to 2,000, or 1,000 to 3,000, or 2,000 to 4,000? What was the rate of doctors that were migrating to foreign countries? Okay, have you picked the answer? All right, next question. Dash took 2 million naira loan from Stadium School Cooperative and disappeared into Japa Wind. Japa Wind. Okay, so who took a loan of 2 million naira and left? Who was the person? Is it Mr. Beppo Adewale or Mrs. Oyelano, Mr. Audu or Mr. Oko? Who took the loan of 2 million? All right, next question. So Shola and her husband could not afford to rent a house in London, so they moved to Shola, that's the former staff of Stardom, that moved to the UK. So her and husband, they were unable to afford the rent of London. So where did they move to? Was it Scotland? Remember, Scotland is a country in UK. I gave you the four countries under UK, right? Can you still remember them? Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and England. Those are the four countries that make up the United Kingdom. So where did Shola and her husband move to? Was it Scotland, Wales, Manchester, or Westminster? Have you picked the answer? All right, the next one. 46 now. Next question. Okay, so it's just 45 questions. So are you ready? So I'll just give you 2 minutes to go through whatever you did. So do the questions together. 46, 44. Okay, please go back to 44. You know what? I want to make it 50 questions. So let me ask 5 questions from here now. Are you okay at 45? All right. It's your love. So are we ready? So please exchange with the person next to you for fairness. If you don't do that, both of you will cheat. So that you can grade yourself. Hello, exchange with the person next to you. Have you done that? So now when we're doing the correction, if the person misses it, just gently do this, and then finally the person chose A, and the correct option is D. So once you do this, just expect to put D. Do you understand? Or if possible, okay, let's just do that way. Can we start? All right, I'll go back to number one now. Have we all exchanged? All right. First question. What seemed unusual about the principal's walk to the podium? What's our answer? B. The answer is B. He was thinking, so he moved ponderously. So number one is B. Did we all get it? All right, I pray so. Two. What instruction did the vice principal give regarding the students? To go to their classes? No. The answer is A. He told them to continue with the assembly. What's the answer? The answer is A. Hello, the answer is A. He told them to continue with the assembly. Question three. What did Mr. Beppo use to shield his face? His palm. So, option C. He used his palm to shield his face. Yes. Is what? To their classes. Can I say, bring it? Let's confirm now. If he has evidence, we'll see. Hello. Let me see. Oh, very good. My bad. That's nice. So let's go back. The answer to number two is number two. To their classes, option C. So can you see? So those little detail, they will put it there to confuse you. So can you see how confusing it was? So the answer is C. Let's go on. Question 4. Who took the microphone from the principal? Eh? Who took the microphone? Mrs. Grace Apple. That happened to be vice principal. So the answer is D. All right, next. Yes. Number 3. We've done it now. Sorry, sir. Number 3. It's spam. All right. Number 5. Yes. Number 5. Yes. What did the principal keep muttering according to concerned parents? Eh? I'm fine. Yes. You can say I'm fine. Hello. What did he say? Hello. No need to shout. Come. Hello. What did he say? It's a lie. Let me see it. Is it Oluwagbaewo? Wow. Okay, very good. The answer is Oluwagbaewo. You said it. So those things little so can you see the thing? They will not ask you those things you know. Those things, imagine, look at the question they're asking. What is this thing? Who will take note of that? So the answer is B. Oluwagbaewo. So that's B. Alright, 6. How did the principal respond when asked the matter? When asked the matter, he so freely. C. So number 6 is C. All right. 7. What recent change has improved students' attendance? Yes, the lowering of the body fees. Okay, the lowering of the body fees. 8. How did Ikena Ubu gain the attention of his fellow students during the pep talk? B. Yes, by sharing a personal story. All right, next. Now, what is the principal's position in the school symbolize according to the MD? To the MD, sanity and calmness. B. All right, next. How long did the teacher spend trying to console the principal? Ah, more than 30 minutes. E. That's the answer. He spent more than 30 minutes. Next. How long had Mr. Beppo been the headmaster at Stardom Kiddies? Eh? Some are saying 8 years, some are saying 4 years. How many years? 4 years. All right, so the answer is C. He had been headmaster for 4 years. Now, he was principal for how many years? 24 years. So please take note. Next question. This one is simple. What was the nickname given to Mr. Beppo? The Lekki Headmaster. B. Next. What was Mr. Beppo's wife profession? He was a registered nurse. Good. Next. How much was he earning a salary? 400,000. Option C. Next. What did one of Beppo's colleagues find funny about his decision to relocate? C. No. A. in UK healthcare system. Yes. Try to figure, but you save excellent care. That's why it's in the UK. But in the UK, as far as the people do, treatment is free. All right, next question. How long has Mrs. Blood been living with her condition? Over 30 years. That's true. 30 years, 30. See. Next question. The principal walked to the dash from the back of the dash. Yes, he walked to the podium from the back of the assembly. Option A. Next. He was not as smart as he used to be. What's that? Simile. Yes, not as smart as use of half a lie. This right now you know figure of speech. I'm proud of you. Give yourself a round of applause. That's nice. So our parents and some other students now have an in-depth knowledge of figure of speech. But please don't forget, it's still going to be useful for you even after your exam. So don't forget. Next question. Who was the chapel prefect of Standard College? Angel of John G. Dozens of perplexed eyes. Who are they referring to here? The students and member of staff. That was already breakdown. To be perplexed means to be confused. Alright? Who was referred to as the reaper? Eh? Who? The principal. Is the principal not Mr. Beppo? So the answer is either C or D. Alright, next. Who fetched handkerchief and offered the reaper? It is TT. Alright. Next question. The managing director of Stardom Schools was Mrs. Ibidu Law. That's nice. Next. Who was described as a bunch of biting humor? Mr. Audu. That's nice. See, so much of you guys are doing well. Give a round of applause for yourself. But don't forget, that's the point. Now you are saying it is looking all good. Do the exam center, don't now get there and forget all of these things. Alright? Just welcome us with very full arms. What's the answer? Personification is just a person. So I already even gave you clue. So the answer is personification. The next one. Stardom School students, where did they go to for their excursion? First Plateau State. That's what you're giving. Alright, next question. Mr. Beppo expressed his frustration for how many days? 5 days. Alright. Next. The two children of Mr. and Mrs. Beppo were Peter and Kiki. B. Kiki, is it Kiki or Kike? Kike. Kile. Alright, the next one. Who is Lekki Headmaster? Diwali. Nice. 34. How far was a piece of land from the school backstage? Five. It's just about 5 minutes away. Yes. What is mentioned? It's about 5 minutes away. Yes, 5 minutes. So next question. How much had been loaned out of the cooperative? Over 50 million. Please take note, the cooperative had 95 million and had loaned out 50 million. Okay? How much did Fafore earn a salary? Well, alright, that was from me. I remember Mr. Fafore was the teacher. Good. Okay? Why did Fruitful Future School eventually close? Low enrollment. Please remember, Fruitful Future School. What? Hello? Lack of funds to relocate. No, what do you have an environmental issue? No. Hello. Now, was it mentioned that he had environmental issues? But remember it was mentioned that he had no enrollment. So what do you know about it? Eh? They no enrollment. That's the main reason. No enrollment. Someone explain something. He said, come. Better come, let me see. You want to tell me something? The other is I'm going with no enrollment, but you are saying otherwise, you have to prove it by showing it from the test. Let me see. Come. Don't waste my time. Move. Yes. Even more unfortunately, the headmaster and his colleague could not raise any substantial fund to relocate from the area. Okay. But no enrollment was also mentioned, but let's go with A. Since we put this from the text, so the answer is A. Although no enrollment was mentioned, but lack of funds to relocate was clearly stated in the book. So we close option A. How much did Mr. Ogo ask for to perform the ritual? 100,000. Next. 4. 50. 35,000. How much? 35,000. Alright, from B. What was the significance of the Oromiyan staff visited by Stardom students? It marked the site where no. A. It was a symbol of Yoruba heritage. That's the answer. It was a symbol of Yoruba heritage. That's the answer. Alright. 39. Okay, we've done that. Next one. What was Depo's emotional state during the farewell ceremony? C and yes, he was overwhelmed with gratitude and nostalgia. Do you remember what nostalgia means? Was it torn apart between living and staying? Was he thinking about it? Alright, so it's B and C definitely. Alright. Who was described as the clownish teacher? Mr. Audu, because of his sense of humor. Alright? So Beppo finally makes his mind to relocate to the UK. And if you remember, I told you the UK consists of how many countries? Namely, England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. So these are the 4 countries that make up the UK. So the answer is UK. Alright, next question. The government considered that up to that of the countries that doctors were migrating annually. Up to 1,000 to 3,000 of the country doctors. Can you what? 39. There's something you want to see. Please, can you use 39? Okay? It's marked the site where the word descended from heaven. Okay? What did the word descended from heaven? But the staff is not signifying it's descending from heaven.
Yeah, they state also the site of the wall or the master.
The word is saying also the site of the wall. I totally disagree. He is saying, or he's showing a particular place. It was not mentioned that the word descended from heaven. For the same significance, the importance of that. Is that the importance? No, I stand to be corrected. No, let's move on. Let's go on. Then, 41 now. 44. 44. That took 2 million naira loan from Stardom School Cooperative disappeared to Japalo. Mr. Uncle, alright? Then the last question. Shola and her husband could not afford to rent a house in London. So they moved to Manchester, alright? So that's all about that. So mark and grade, let me see. Do you have anyone that scored 45? Everything. Eh? Do you have such person? A round of applause for yourself. It's a lie. It's not 45. 44. Alright. So on that note, please help the person to make correction and return the notes. So if you have any question, we start the question. If you still have any question on it, please ask before we round up the class. Are we clear? Do you have a question? Come forward quickly. Please don't waste our time. Come forward quickly. You have a question? Come to me. Have a question, don't join them quickly so that we'll answer the question at once. Our time is fast spent. Yeah? Alright. Hello, we're almost done. Let us just ask a question. Okay. Is that? Okay, should we have 5 more questions, please? Seth, can we have 5 more questions, please? They are tired. Can we have 5 questions? They are lazy. But we will take time. Right? Let's keep that pending. What's the question? Is it what? Okay. Asking if the story is real life or imaginary. Is it a real life story? Well, it was not mentioned to be a real life story, so it's definitely imaginary. It's fictional. Okay. All right. Any other question? You know what? For further knowledge, it's better you just get this. Yes, we already have over 100 questions. About how many ones we've done, there are 300 questions there. So I just advise you get this. It's not only for us to do the question, but I assure you, the 2 questions that they will ask, you've already cheated it. So it's there for you to work, to remember. So on this note, we call it a day. God bless you and thank you for your time.